Hello everyone, and welcome to England for the 13th time in Season 1 of the Best Butties Championship, competing today at the illustrious Silverstone circuit for the Silverstone Grand Prix. Here's the grid for today's action. Starting up in 4th is me, Hayden, in the Williams, with a poor performance during qualifying, having spun and crashed into the barrier at Turn 1 during Q1. Third up in the Mercedes is O'Sullivan.
Right, yeah, no, so I'm rated 3rd, am I?
Yep. Poor porpoising issues and a lack of side pods have really hit the performance of the car hard, with a below average pace and a knockout in Q2 of qualifying. Second in the front row is Morgan.
Ka-chow!
Racing in the Aston Martin. Christian Horner thinks it's just a recoloured Red Bull with a Mercedes power unit, which would explain the blinding performance in qualifying, just missing out on the top spot during Q1 to Marek and the Red Bulls.
I can't legally drive, help!
Is it a rocket ship? Did they actually go over budget in 2022 due to catering, or is something more sinister at play? Whatever the case, a stellar performance in qualifying, being 5/10 up from Morgan, makes him top of the grid for today's competition. We're all lined up. The countdown begins. 5 lights on, and it's lights out, and away we go. How are my fellow racers doing?
That was the most professional we've ever sounded on this podcast, so well done to Rob.
That was good. That was very good. That might actually beat my little restaurant intro, to be fair. That's very good.
I mean, it's, yeah, I just can't get over being rated 3rd.
Did you get that the ratings were in order of who is currently winning the podcast?
Yeah, it makes sense.
You see? You see? It's all a part of it. It's all a part of it. Even the 5/10 thing, because we're going to get into that right now, because you guys probably, if you listened to the last episode, we never actually came up with an answer to the best Disney princess because it was utter bullshit.
No, it wasn't. You've got to do what you can to win.
Well, something like that.
If you are not stretching the rules, you're not playing the game.
There's stretching, and then there's just making it up the entire time to suit yourself.
And to win. If I win, it's worth it.
Right, well, should we get into that?
I think so.
So Robert and I had to have a little private discussion. I think we both agree we're not happy about it.
Yeah.
It is bullshit. Mm-hmm. It's very much clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right, and here I am with the winner of episode 12. So after much deliberation, and by that I mean 2-3 texts, we have come to the conclusion that the winner, whoever's editing, please insert a drum roll, is Ryan Once More with Tiana.
Right, so we just don't have to put any effort in. We don't have to think about anything. It's fine.
Here's the thing, Jack. Here's the thing. Right, I probably would have gone for Aileen Queen more if you didn't screw me over. So you shot yourself in the foot doing that.
She's at least a main antagonist. She's a main antagonist. Edna Mode fucking is in that for like 2 scenes.
Well, much to the movie's detriment. She should have her own movie, quite frankly.
Not the point. She's not even a focus of the movie. At least they're trying to fucking kill the alien queen.
We had this discussion last time, boys. Just to reiterate it.
It's going to get angry. So it's going to get angry.
Yeah, we should move on pretty quickly, I think, because that we will kick off again. But means I need to update the tally chart.
You do need to update it.
Ryan storming ahead with 5.
This is like
5 wins.
The most I've ever been validated in my entire life, and I don't know how to think.
Overwhelmed. You're going to put whatever. We're going to print you off a little certificate. You can hang it next to your PhD.
I've not even put any of my degrees up on the wall, but I might fucking put that up. I'm telling you that for free.
It just means that we now have to go back all the way to the Marvel superhero episode and count mine as an actual winning choice, because I think everyone liked Miles. That was a consensus, right?
Didn't, because you fucking hate Spider-Man and you chose it and it pissed me right off.
Ridiculous. There we are. That's the decision. So I guess the grunt noise is going to come in pretty early this round, or this episode.
If we can do like a deflated grunt noise. Because I'm still not happy about it, but here we are. Someone's got to win.
I mean, it was never going to be Edna Mode.
Oof! All right. Come on, let's not stir the pot this early. Let's go on to greener pastures. Shall we talk about nice things? And I can't remember what the nice things segment is called.
We did this last time. We don't have a name. I don't think we have a name.
Isn't it ain't that peachy? Isn't that what we've called it, sort of temporarily?
I think we've called it about 4 different things. Yeah, we'll go with that.
It's got different stuff. Diving straight in. Let's quickly fit. Go on then, Ryan, if you want to kick us off.
I got 2 things. A band that I really like called Slime City released a new album and it fucking slaps. So if you like Glaswegian nerd rock, get onto it. And then I went to Poland with my dear old dad, and we drank too much beer. And had a lot of nice food. Most of it was fried, because that's what Poland likes, apparently. So yeah, that's what I did this week.
Did you have the sausage from the sausage van man?
Yeah, so if you ever go to Krakow, dear listener, there's a man who turns up at 7 p.m. and leaves about 3 in the morning, and he just serves a kielbasa, a Polish sausage, with some Polish mustard, which is a bit sweeter than English mustard, and quite nice. English mustard tastes like ass, and a little crusty bun. That's all you get. It's like £3, and it's fucking glorious. Gloriously simple food that I could eat every day. But we'll get gout.
How does that compare to an IKEA hot dog?
Much better. Like it's different genres, right? It's different genres, because you think about pizza. Pizza has a lot of different genres. You've got your fancy Italian stuff for when you're feeling like you want a sit-down meal. You've got your Domino's, or insert whatever takeaway chain of choice is your favourite. We're not having that debate. Not right now, anyway. Or, you've got your NYC, Chicago. It's all different genres. And I think with kind of sausages and hot dogs, you've got your different genres. You've got your IKEA stuff. You've got your glizzies, your hot dogs. And then you've got the more refined, the elegant Polish sausage.
Fair enough. I mean, how much was it,
Fair
though,
play.
compared to the IKEA hot dog, which is like
That was
90p?
£3. I've got I think I might have sent it to you, Rob, dingy picture of a phallic object, which was not my penis, but was actually the sausage. It was like a sausage about this big, and I know it's an audio media, which is not really helping. Probably about
They can
15
imagine.
centimetres long and pretty chunky, just like my penis.
Yeah, but I say you should get put your cock away, mate. Jesus, you were with your dad at the time. That's not nice, is it?
They were both out. And a crusty roll about the size of a bap. For our American listeners, I'm not explaining baps. Fuck off. And that was £3. Just less.
In Krakow, did you? There was I remember when I went a few years ago. There was a big tower in the middle of the centre, and then there was a guy that plays a trumpet, at a certain hour, and then just cuts off randomly, and it sounds really odd.
So the reason why they cut it off is because the guy got shot in the throat or something by an arrow, like halfway through in like a long time ago, and so they continued the tradition by cutting it off. My dad's a big softie, and because he comes from Poland, his family's from that. He was telling me that story, like literally tearing up, and we heard it like 7-8 times throughout the holiday. And every time he was like, little Polish tear. I was like, come on, Dad.
Just because a bloke got shot.
Well, it's Polish history, isn't it? He's got a soft spot for his heritage.
That's totally fair.
But yeah, it was good. I had a great time. Please tell me your nice things, lads.
Let's go next.
Nothing this week. Pretty shit week.
Shall I go next? I can go next.
I never think to plan for this, to be honest. I forget it's a segment.
Okay, I'll go next. I for the first time in a long time, bought a Lego kit, like a pretty big one. I've not really bought them. Instead bought Gundam and did that for a bit, the Gunpla stuff, because it was cheaper, because Lego's so expensive. But it is better, actually, having built this kit. But it was still, I had a voucher. I went and bought myself, following the vehicle theme for today's episode, this Ford GT40 in the back here. And it's that's wrong. It's not a GT40. Apologies. Take that out. Edit that out. It's a Ford GT, not a GT40. A Technic kit, and it was really good. I really enjoyed that. Actually, I sat down and just took my time over a few days to build this kit, and it was bloody brilliant. I really enjoyed it. So I really recommend, if you've got deep pockets, buying Lego.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm announcing on the podcast he's got deep pockets. Fucking
if you listened, Ryan, I had a voucher, which is why I got it. So my pockets are not deep.
Deep pockets filled with vouchers.
just vouchers.
As far as the eye can see.
But it was very good. They're what, I don't know how the hell they think.
It looks cool.
This stuff. Yeah, it's right, isn't it? It's not too bad. It's I don't really know what to do with it at the moment. It's pretty big. This is the problem with Lego. I think they should do a service where you rent Lego kits, right? So, because the best bit about having the Lego is just building the thing. And then once you built it, I ain't bothered about keeping it. So I just want to, if I could rent a Lego kit, build it all, and then just send it back assembled, and then somebody disassembles it, and then they can rent to someone else, brilliant. I'd rent it.
That's good. That's
I tell you what, on that idea, and this is all TM, registered trademark, Best Butties. No one fucking steal this idea. You know, like we get board game cafes. Do you reckon you can get Lego cafes? You must be able to, where you can do exactly that. Pick your kit, spend a few hours there with a coffee and a cake, and just do some Lego. Because if not, TM us. That's our idea now. But
TM us.
I think that'd be cool.
It's a good idea. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about cafe as such. There probably are Lego events in the same way that they do Gundam build events.
Fair. But with Gundam build events, how long does it honestly take them to build that thing? Because some of them can take a long bloody while, like even high grade kits.
Well, I think they do it over a couple of events. Like I think. Shout out to my homie Thorn, who from Weeb Wednesday. He's gone to a couple,
yes.
And I think they'll take like the kit that they work on, just say like every week or 2 weeks or whatever. I think it's fairly regular by him, and yeah, they'll just sort of hang out, build kits, probably get wasted, smoke some kush. I don't know, but seems
to
cool.
each their own. But when I'm building a Gundam or any sort of Gunpla, I just want to be on my own, put on a podcast or something to watch, and just not have outside things. Like
that's your natural state though, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that's doing anything. I want to be on my own and not interacting with anyone else.
And hotbox the entire room so you haven't got to smoke anything. It's all going to be just natural breathing.
That sounds pretty sick, yeah.
There you go. That's what I enjoyed. Go on then.
Yeah, it's cool. I guess we'll go back. I didn't want to do it again, but we'll go back to my love of 70s and 80s dad rock. But I stumbled upon a new band and I was really digging the first album. They're called Martyr. They're debuting from, I believe, 1st of January 1985.
New band.
Yeah. Well, new to me, right? I think they then disbanded a year or two afterwards because there was very little. Anytime I tried to search it, it comes up with like some Canadian rock band that formed in like the late 90s, and they're a bit shit. But it's good. It's the kind of music. I guess it's similar to like old Iron Maiden and shit. It's the kind of music that makes you want to like grab a fucking broadsword and fight a dragon. It's that sort of get you pumped, get you going, man. It's good shit. Would highly recommend if you're into that kind of stuff. I've been playing. Yeah, I can send you a link.
Martyr or
Martyr, Martyr. I think that's probably spelt wrong. I'll send you a link. But Awakening, incredible. I've been playing some like fucking Tears of the Kingdom, blasting that, fighting bokoblins, gets me going.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see. Okay,
it's the artwork on the album as well. It's like a Grim Reaper holding like, on the moon.
You do go for a certain type of music, don't you?
Well, I listen to a lot of stuff, and I'll go through phases. So at the minute, I'm in my classic rock sort of vibe.
Gym music, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say so. Probably get you going.
Lift some tin to it, that'd be good.
Yeah, I'd lift some weights. I'd possibly go on a run to that, I think. It's quite, like, energised. Quite a fast
We should do a Best Butties playlist. Maybe we should do that? Spotify?
I mean, look, we need any listeners on this first. We can't have them going off to other parts of Spotify.
Maybe that becomes the most popular thing, not the podcast. It's the playlist.
Yeah. Mate, I'll do whatever if someone pays us thousands of pounds on Patreon. So,
oh dear.
Just point that out there, listeners.
He's getting that large 10-inch cock out, whatever he said. So
15 centimetres. He wasn't, going that
you're
wild
right,
No.
Yeah, what do you think he's going to spend the 10 grand on? We'll make it that big.
Jesus.
Grand an inch.
To be fair, we lasted longer than 5 minutes before getting to a crude cock joke. So well done us.
Go on, Jack. Your final. What have you enjoyed since the last podcast?
I mean, I don't really enjoy anything.
Oh, for fuck's
God,
sake.
Jesus.
What have you tolerated this week?
I mean, tolerating was you lot the other day, but no, I don't know. That new Zelda's good, eh? But Brandon's already mentioned it, and we don't want to go into any spoilers, but it's fucking good. It's better than the other one, which
Jesus.
That's impressive.
That's very impressive. It's just long.
I will say, do you think it's more difficult?
I think it's harder from the beginning. But I mean, that's good for us, not so good for my other half who doesn't play games and is not leaving the tutorial area because she just is not used to moving cameras with the right stick or anything like that. But I mean, she's getting to grips with it, so it's difficult, but it's doable. Which, hey, Zelda's good.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, I don't enjoy many things, so Zelda, good.
Wow.
That escape room was pretty good. I quite enjoyed that. And we escaped.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that because I knew you'd probably want me to say it. So, no. Yeah, no, it was I had my birthday and...
He's 30.
2 of the 3 co-hosts bothered to come and see me. And we did an escape room and it was good fun.
One of them was too busy eating 17-inch sausages or something.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? We don't kink shame on this podcast, remember, boys?
They're going to get progressively larger through the podcast as I actually forget exactly, was it whatever size it was, but anyway, yeah.
His 16-foot
Dad's
Polish
15
sausage.
centimetre sausage.
Jousting with it.
Sword fighting in Krakow.
I'm going to swiftly change the topic of conversation. Similar in relation to Tears of the Kingdom. I did say I'd begrudgingly mention and have a little segment, which is how far through Xenoblade 3 is Ryan. I finished it.
Hey!
You didn't say that. Brilliant.
I finished the main quest. I've still got loads of side quests and the DLC to do, so that's... That's 40 hours left to go, probably. Kill me. Ooh. But I'm done the main story, so I can at least browse Reddit and not be spoiled.
What is your current play time on
115 hours.
Shit.
Yes. And that's doing most of the side quests. So if you wanted to zoom through it, which I don't recommend, then it's probably 80. If you're just gunning through.
You are not selling it to me at all.
Yeah.
This is not being sold.
But, you know...
You ain't touching that again. That's done now.
No, I will prove you wrong, sir, because I'll finish
Diablo 4. Diablo 4 comes out soon.
No, I've got the DLC to do, and then I've got Tears of the Kingdom, and then, you know...
Right, sure, yeah. I'll believe that when I see it, so
anyway,
that sounds good to me.
Shall we...
More important check-in, yeast.
Yes,
Ryan.
Sourdough starter.
Yeast
I need
news.
to get on that. I've not received any yeast. So...
What?
This is a terrible segment.
But I will inquire to the local post office and see what's going on. But yeah, I'll try and get some yeast at some point. For those listeners that aren't aware what's going on, we've had a really heartfelt story about a bloke in America that died and sold some yeast. That's a really poor description of that whole story.
Perfect. Gives them a reason to re-listen to older episodes.
Go back and listen to episode 10 if you want the full story. But yes, I decided that the story was so heartwarming that I'd order some yeast from America. From, obviously, that man, not just random people in America.
Well, not him, he's dead.
That's where they get it from. They scrape it off his corpse.
Shave it off like a kebab.
Like a kebab.
Sad,
but yeah, I will.
If the Royal Mail steal your yeast starter, that's a new low for the Royal Mail. It's like birthday card money and now yeast starters.
But yeah, I'll get on that. But yeah, I'll keep you updated.
Good to know. Should we start going into our best vehicles? Vehicles is the choice this week, and I think Brandon, you have our brackets.
I have the brackets, and it's not the same pairings as the previous 2 episodes, you'll be pleased to know. So, first of all, we have the current pole position, Ryan, going up against 4th place with Robert. And then it will be me and Jack trying not to have an actual fight about Edinburgh.
You can't help being wrong.
Do you mind if I go first this week?
Of course you may, mate.
Thank you, mate.
I'll let you.
So, we're talking about vehicles, and what did I want to do more than anything to stop Rob having a chat about cars? So I'm not choosing a fucking car. Fuck you. I'm going to choose the TARDIS because it is literally the best vehicle because it flies at whatever speed it fucking wants. It goes through space. It goes through time. It does, like, cars can't do that. Buses, planes, anything cannot do that in terms of vehicles. Are you going to say the DeLorean, Brandon, because he's got his hand up?
I'm going to say the DeLorean, yeah, actually.
Yes, the DeLorean can do it. It look cool. But technically, the TARDIS can change its external and exterior to be whatever it fucking wants. So,
it's fucking broken, though.
Yes,
it's broken.
But that was broken, and it can be fixed. But it was retconned in the 2005 revival series, where they actually said the Doctor liked it that way, so he didn't actually fix it. That is a thing that definitely happened because I've watched that series far too many times not to know that.
It's not very inconspicuous, though, this bloody old police box. I mean, police box? It could at least be a telephone box.
TARDISes from other Time Lords.
Yeah,
that
sure,
works, right?
But, like, it ain't blended into anything now. Like, that doesn't seem efficient for the Doctor, who's this, very smart Time Lord, to be...
Yeah, but the TARDIS isn't a thing that... A TARDIS is not that particular TARDIS. The TARDIS is like the model number for all Time Lords. That's their spaceship. So I can get around. I can get around that argument by saying, a bog standard TARDIS. Well, that will work and it will blend in anywhere, and it will go at whatever speed and go through time at whatever it wants. Also, if you want to go beyond the actual speed and going through time aspect, which is clearly the winner in this situation, but it's of huge cultural importance for sci-fi generally. It's a cultural icon amongst UK folk and international folk in the sci-fi community, and it's overall pretty fucking cool. So you asked me to have more of an argument this time
the
round.
TARDIS or Doctor Who?
The TARDIS. I think the TARDIS iconography.
Doctor Who is definitely not cool.
Modern
Doctor Who.
Let's not.
You're not a Whovian, Ryan?
I used to be absolutely. I literally went home a few weeks ago and sorted out the ridiculous amounts of Doctor Who memorabilia and shit that
it used to be good.
It used to be fucking phenomenal, but now it's all shit. But beyond that, I think it's a cultural icon. And then if you go in universe, it is clearly the best vehicle because it can travel through time and literal space, and it can look however it wants. It can look however it wants on the inside. It's literally infinitely large on the inside, so you've got unlimited glove compartments, which I don't think...
How many cup holders?
Literally unlimited. It can do...
You don't know that? Where does it say that? Has it said that anywhere?
Yes, because the TARDIS can have literally unlimited rooms forever. And those can take on any shape, any form. So it could literally be cup holders until the cows come home, mate. So
it has its own wardrobe, right? Because I know they go to the wardrobe to get dressed when they regenerate. That's it. Yeah, they regenerate. That's it. Yep. And they get dressed. So they can have whatever rooms they want in the TARDIS. Does that also fill it full of whatever they want it full of? So if I said I wanted a room full of chocolate milk, it would just be this room. The chocolate milk would come in the room.
Calm room.
We're now going to ruin my childhood. Phenomenal.
Is that what it can do? It can fit. So a bit like the thing from Star Trek that Patrick goes tea Earl Grey hot, and I don't know what that's called.
I think it can to a degree.
Yeah, kettle.
The replicator.
It's basically that. It can have that in it.
Canonically, the replicator reconstitutes matter from waste products of the ship, so he is drinking shit at that point.
Right.
Shit that's been broken down to pure energy and then reconstituted, but still.
Arguably, it's Earl Grey, so it was shit when it went in, shit when it came out, so exactly the same. But is that what it can do then? Because I didn't think I thought the TARDIS was fixed inside.
It's not fixed inside. It can... I'm going to literally read from the Wikipedia because it can be more concise than I'll ever be. Whilst the exterior is of limited size, the TARDIS is famously bigger on the inside, in air quotes. Behind the police box doors lies a large control room, at the centre of which is a hexagonal console. Blah, 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 blah. The presence of a physically larger space contained within the police box is explained by dimensional transcendental, with the interior being in a whole separate dimension containing an infinite number of rooms, corridors, and storage spaces, all of which can change their appearance and configuration. So I think it's less about the contents
corridor,
and more about
rooms.
The rooms and their configuration, how they look.
So, in the room with all the clothes in, does that mean that the Doctor from the Doctor Who that we watch is also an avid collector of clothes? I mean, is that also canonical?
This is what I weirdly thought about a lot as a child. If you can just go and if you got a bloody time traveling machine, you just go and nick anything you want. So you go to like Zara or Top Man and just fucking nick everything and you eat out. Yeah.
Out of any option,
all of history.
You're going to choose Top Man. that doesn't exist anymore. Well, not now, so I guess you would have to go back in time. And Zara.
I don't know why Zara came into my head, because I can't shop at Zara, because apparently I'm not fucking thin enough. Fuck you, Zara.
Now, I don't really fuck with Doctor Who, so I don't know anything about it, right? Can it move? Now, I know it goes through time and space. It just sort of pops up in a place.
The space part of that suggests that it's moving.
Yeah, but I mean, can you just see it moving about?
No, it'll kind of fade in and fade out.
It just leaves and then it's there. So you couldn't really take it to a drive-through.
Unless it's in like space or traveling through time at the moment, and then when they open the door, it is definitely rotating and moving.
There has definitely been scenes where you can see it physically moving through space on Earth, if you know what I mean. Like a car travels, you can see it travelling. There has definitely been canonical shots of the TARDIS doing that, so it can also phase in and out of existence, but also like
just see
stuff.
Dragging across. Okay, that's what I
like your thought, Brandon. Is this because it going through McDonald's drive-through would be janky as fuck? I mean, every time they've got to get that motherfucking thing to move, it seems like a right.
And then you got to lean out the door to be like, contactless back window 2, please.
We've got a fixed chameleon circuit, and it can look like any car you want, so it's easy to go through the drive-through. So I'm not accepting that defense.
No, I'm just getting it clear. As someone who doesn't know Doctor Who, because that's one of the main points that I'll be judging everyone's option on, is can I take it through a KFC?
You can. You know, you can make it look like a little blue Honda if you want. I very much would like that.
I'm in.
I thought that was what you were going to choose.
No, because I refuse to talk about cars, and I've already broken that rule. So no more talking about cars from me. That the TARDIS. There we go. Done.
Look, if you're picking a car as the best vehicle, you've lost.
I agree.
Well, we'll see.
Well, even in real vehicles.
My turn, then, I guess. Shall I now ruin it then and talk about
cars?
Because, you can, but you'll lose.
Right. Okay. I chose vehicle because I really like cars. There you go. That's me. I love my cars. Always have. And Brandon on the podcast, also massive lover of cars. The other two, complete and utter dunces when it comes to cars, which is nice actually, because usually I'm the one that's
I love engines.
Talking about.
Not a fan of cars. Trains, much better. Planes, much better.
I like some cars.
Yeah, I know, but like usually I'm the one that's a bit like, you start talking about some Godzilla reference from 1900 Plonk, and I'm like, what are you talking about? But cars, fight me. I'll talk about cars. So I have chosen a car. Fine, it's a car, but it's a very iconic. You said iconic. This is an iconic car. Okay, so I've gone for a very specific example of this. Gone for the MX-5 to start off with. Okay, but I've gone for Alex Kirsten. This guy called Auto Alex. He used to be a part of Car Throttle on YouTube. His MX-5 called Phil, right? Okay. Now, let's start with the MX-5. It is already the best car in its class by far. It is a cheap rear-wheel drive roadster that has perfect 50-50 weight distribution in the engine over the front wheels. It handles like a dream. I'm telling you, if you've never driven an MX-5, those that are on this podcast here that can drive, and also those that are listening, get behind the wheel of one. They are absolutely fucking amazing, to the point where half of us on this podcast already own one. Is that not correct, Brandon?
Yeah. Should we let the audience guess which half?
Yeah, we should do. We should do. See who actually's got it. It's definitely Ryan. He's a MX-5 driver.
Yeah, I'm also a hairdresser.
So it's rear-wheel drive, so it's so much fun to drive around the track. It slides out really easy. There's a reason people take them, and they are everywhere. They're modified all the time. They're driven as stock. But a big problem with them is, or people say, is that there's not enough power in them, right? They usually come with like a 1.5, 1.8 or a 2-litre sort of 4-cylinder engine, inline engine. It's enough for the car and what you want it to do. And because it's that small, you can drive it at 10 tenths pretty much everywhere. It's brilliant. But this one, Phil, has a 3-litre Jaguar V6 in it, right? And it is a fucking machine. It is awesome, right? So it weighs about a ton. It's about 1,000 kilograms, but has 250 horsepower in the thing. It screams down the road. It's an absolute machine, and it is bloody gorgeous. I'll send you a picture so you can see what I'm talking about. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's decorated in arguably the best colour that the Mazda sort of sell, called Soul Red. Which has got this lovely like glossy colour, which when you polish it up, it looks like a ruby. It's amazing. It's got the coolest like black third party like wheels.
God,
awesome.
I can see our audience retention graph just fucking diving.
Do not care. This car is awesome, and every video it's featured in is just the coolest thing.
I know you're sending a photo through to me, but what Mark MX-5 is
This is a Mark 1, so another argument is why it's the best, because the TARDIS, exactly. TARDIS may be, time travelling, doesn't have pop-up light. Oh, no, I suppose it can do, but it's not inherently.
It could literally make itself look like that, yeah.
But this has pop-up lights.
It's a red car,
headlights
just for audio listeners, which everyone else is.
I can confirm it is a red car, yes.
It's a very iconic red car, and it is bloody fast, and it sounds amazing. Not sure if you ever got the brakes done on it, because they weren't very good, but the rest of it, amazing. Slides, you can drift it.
So you've just admitted it's not the best car because you said it's not got very good brakes.
No, it is. You can put better brakes on the car. Like, the car is... It might have better brakes.
So
I don't know.
It's just a Titanic argument again. It's like, it sank, but we can make it a better boat.
No, this is the best example of, in my opinion, MX-5 that's been modified. It is fucking awesome. I would give to drive that car. It'll be amazing. That is the best vehicle.
Unfortunately, it does light up a very primordial Gary Boy part of my brain when I look at this car. I'm like, yeah, it's a nice looking car. So fair enough, Rob. Fair enough.
It is a nice looking car. I don't know how you can compare it to all vehicles. Like, there are vehicles that are just objectively better in other classes that are not cars.
Okay, but I'm talking about cars, and it's the best.
But you're not. You're talking about best vehicles, Rob. That's the episode.
It is. It's small. You can drive it through KFC really easily. It's pretty damn good on fuel.
I can get a fucking pedal car for that.
Yes, but you can't pedal your car.
I could drive that into a KFC.
That will drive you wherever you need to go in the world. And I'm sure if you put it on Mars, it might drive there as well. Probably not. There's no air, so it would not combust.
Hold your breath.
You're all good. But that's the best vehicle. Yeah, I was thinking about choosing, even going further into this, a Porsche 911, because they're also arguably probably the best in their class. But the MX-5 is so affordable, and this one is just fucking awesome.
This bracket has got split all over it. Because our voters are Jack
and an MX-5 owner.
And Jack, who just literally announced he doesn't give a shit about it. But it gets worse,
because for those of you who know me, I love JDM cars, especially with pop-up headlights. So it's the MX-5 for me. So it was...
Yeah, no, it's the TARDIS for me, because the MX-5, as nice as it might be, cannot travel through time. It can definitely go through space. I will give it that.
Right, with the TARDIS. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know, but you go in, you're at your meeting table, whatever, you put in, I want to be at this place this time, blah, blah, and it goes.
You drive
but is that driving? Is that a driving experience? Because the MX-5, you get in that, you take that around a track, a nice, crazy country lane.
It's moving
no
through
one's going to be taking a TARDIS around the Nürburgring, right? Whereas the MX-5, you get in that, and that is an experience. It is a driving experience. You will have a smile on your face the entire time. That one's got a good engine in it. An old classic Mark 1, you push to 30, and you can't have the heater on because it'll cut the speed in half. But it's the experience of it that makes the MX-5. It's massively impractical.
Do we not think that the experience of travelling through time and space is going to be fun? Because that sounds pretty fucking fun
being
to
able
me,
to travel through time and space, but it's not a driving experience.
Yeah, but it's a piloting experience.
I've seen him have to move those levers and shit. But
I think you have more fun driving the MX-5 for sure. Like, it's inherently a fun thing to drive. I totally agree.
So it's a fucking spaceship that can travel through fucking space and time.
That doesn't make it fun to drive. It's not fun. The thing that's fun isn't driving the thing. It's the fact it's going through space. Like,
if I lose this bracket to an MX-5, I will literally quit this podcast.
In terms of sci-fi vehicles, the TARDIS is maybe the one that I think I would be least likely to pick. It's the least interesting sci-fi vehicle. There are better time machines. There are better ships. There's so many other things I would choose before a TARDIS.
Rude.
And that sort of has me leaning now towards the MX-5 only because I think it's a wasted opportunity, Ryan. You picked a bad sci-fi ship.
I did not. I went with my heart.
You were clouded by nostalgia for a Doctor Who that does not exist anymore, will never exist again.
I was literally about to buy you a birthday present, but that's fucking out in the nose, isn't it? Get fucked.
I don't. But also, I just picking a car. Cars are so. They're good fun to drive. They're things that you can tangibly get behind the wheel of. But there are other vehicles that exist that are so much cooler. Like these Art Deco trains that just look phenomenal, and planes.
Somebody may say, maybe I shouldn't say this because one of you may say it, but the Shinkansen,
it's fucking sick.
Okay, yeah, it's fast. It's fucking quick.
Looks sick.
But I'm not getting in the train and going like, let's fucking go,
to be
boys.
fair,
This
I
is gonna be the
drive.
best
I
experience
drive
of my life.
I get very excited on trains.
You get a bit penisy.
He's not allowed on
The transport police have my picture.
Stop pitching tent. But yeah,
Jeremy Corbyn's looking for a seat on a crowded train. I'm there beating my meat.
Oh God, Jesus. Well, you see, you can still beat your meat in the MX-5. It's a bit small, but you probably could still do it.
cramps.
No.
There is no. It'll be a bit cramped, but you could do it. You could put it.
What's its top speed?
Top speed?
Yeah,
That's
go
a
on.
good question, actually.
The same question for the TARDIS. I want to know what the top speed of the TARDIS is.
Fucking, this is bullshit.
I want to get the top trumps
as
out.
it goes back in time, it probably is pretty much infinite.
Yeah.
I know, but I want to know.
That's the point. I guess you couldn't drag race a TARDIS, could you?
Yeah, the TARDIS can move anywhere in the universe and arrive at the exact moment where it left its origin. Speed equals distance divided by travel time. So if the time is 0, then the TARDIS is infinitely fast. Get fucked, MS5. You little bitch.
Infinitely fast. Okay, it's not infinitely fast.
It is.
I think it would.
The
But
master
it's also the time isn't 0. Time isn't 0 for it because it has time passes inside the TARDIS before they arrive at their destination.
Yeah, but then how do you classify time? And that's not something you're going to get around to.
Let's get this whiteboard out.
So, time is relative.
Oh, just choose something.
I can't tell you how fast the MX-5 is because there is not a crib sheet on that. I only know the horsepower figure, so I don't have a speed.
What's the horsepower of the TARDIS, Ryan?
If this is my Edna mode, then fine, whatever. I'll deal with it, but I'm not going to be fucking happy about this.
I can still say though. Okay, let's go on the speed thing, right? Just it being fast doesn't make it the best, right? Because the MX-5, I just said this earlier, the MX-5 is at a right speed that you can drive it to almost the maximum what it can do without breaking any laws, right? You can enjoy the car. That is the whole joy of having this. Phil is even better. It's got a fucking 3-litre V6 in it. The thing accelerates like an absolute weapon. It weighs the same as, like, my headphones.
The TARDIS does seem dangerous as well, because I assume he doesn't know exactly where he's parking it. So it could just be at a place and time where someone happens to be walking past and then they just get crushed by a phone box.
I mean, there's probably a way that they can park it properly. If it can go anywhere in time and space, I'm sure it's going to be like, you can't park here, mate.
Does he pay road tax on it?
No, you can get around the ULEZ.
Good one.
No, it would. To be fair to the TARDIS, that is a good way of getting around the ULEZ charge in London.
Yeah.
It is. Well, it doesn't emit anything. What does it work? Well, how does it work? Is it
It's a hybrid.
Is it petrol? Diesel?
Yeah.
It's probably mild hybrid, yeah, I'd have thought. So, what are you voting for, guys?
You know what my vote is. I own
all things being
fucking
equal,
MX-5.
I would say the TARDIS. But to break a stalemate, I'll accept
Fuck off.
the MX-5 as...
This is fucking this is a joke.
Yeah, look, Ryan, I'm with you. I think the TARDIS is better, but I also don't know that we're going to push Brandon.
I'm not changing. I don't like Doctor Who.
I also
so.
wore my Phil t-shirt just for this.
Oh, fuck it,
just
I'm
for
going
this
TARDIS
episode.
then. Fuck this.
No! Bullshit! Come on, this is bullshit. Phil, it's a good... What are you talking about? You were about to say...
Nah, you
Why
enjoy
are you
it
now
too
changing
much.
your
You
mind?
like it too much, and I need to
Should have
hurt
hid the
you.
T-shirt for just a couple more minutes. You were there.
No, it's just a red shirt. I can't believe it. Well, how are they going to fight? How are you going to make Phil and
Because
the TARDIS fight?
I think we mentioned before about trying to set up a few other options to break stalemates. So it's not always just fighting, so people don't always go with the most combat-ready version of things.
The
But we
best
haven't
thing
made
to
that,
do
so
would be a race.
I guess it would be a drag
but,
race for this, wouldn't it?
The TARDIS would win that
Yep.
because it can travel through time, so it would
I
travel
guess
to the point.
TARDIS would
immediately after. It can travel to the end before it leaves the start. So
the problem is all of the like
enjoy drifting your
all of the
TARDIS.
vehicle sort of challenges, if you will, for a tie break. I am struggling because my immediate thought was just race, obviously. What would be best parallel park? And cheapest insurance were my 3 go-to.
Well, TARDIS would be expensive.
That you probably wouldn't be able to insure.
Well, it just doesn't insure it.
Well, you wouldn't be able to insure it.
Well, just go back in time before you crash into someone, I guess.
Well, it doesn't... Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still got to be roadworthy if you're going to drive it on the road.
This is the only time I've enjoyed Deus Ex Machina as a fucking plot hole filler, because it just solves everything. This time travel bullshit. It is brilliant. It's not brilliant in films, but fuck me, it's good in an argument, isn't it, boys?
Reliability? I mean, what are we going to grade it on?
That's a good point. Because
I'm just trying to think of other things.
If that breaks down, I know I can get that MX-5 patched up at probably any garage.
Pretty quick.
Throw some tyres on.
I'm not sure I have a sonic screwdriver spare to just keep in the glove compartment.
Yeah.
I don't know,
it's
what is
infinite glove compartment.
Yeah.
Yeah, cup holders. So you picking the TARDIS? Are we going TARDIS then? Is that what it is?
Well, we gotta decide now what we're rating them against each other on.
The problem is, I do have to agree. The TARDIS does all of the thing that, because the description of a vehicle is anything that can transport people or goods, right?
And it does do that.
The TARDIS will transport, well, anything, right? It would transport anything. Just the experience of doing so would be nowhere near as enjoyable as driving Phil.
You don't know that.
I think no.
So
the driving experience would be better on the MX-5 because, correct me if I'm wrong again, but I doubt in any episode of Doctor Who are they really focusing on him driving.
There actually are quite a few shots of him driving it. He looks like he's having a fucking whale of a time.
Just brief shots of it being like, now we're on Mars. Or is it
I will say it doesn't look like the most comfortable, low-stress thing to drive, because the levers are all over the place, seemingly in random sort of positions where he has to run around the central console to sort of hit them at all times and pump them and everything.
That sounds fun.
It looks fun in the same way like the things that you have little kids play with in doctors' waiting rooms are fun.
I don't see problems.
Let me show you the swag interior of Phil, because that is also, it's all been customised. It looks wonderful.
But the TARDIS can literally make itself look like Phil the interior, so you know.
But this is the Phil, the original Phil.
See, I really don't like the red and black.
Look at it. I think you're wrong.
I don't mind it on the seats, but the fucking on the doors and stuff, that sort of cross-hatching.
Mate, that looks like a fucking brothel.
It's got Phil on the. It
just sort of looks cheap
on the floor mats.
Looks cheap.
It's not cheap. I'm telling you.
No, I know
right
it's
now,
not, but it looks it. Which is, you've really got to spend some money to get it to look cheap.
You guys have no taste. We're picking the TARDIS. Fine, I'll die on this hill. So fine by me.
Like I was,
Phil is by far the best.
My only issue with the TARDIS is, and it hurts me to say that I sort of agree with Rob here. It does cut out the driving, like it's so efficient at transporting people. It is literally cutting out the act of driving it to an extent. Like you're there so quickly because it is almost
the best transport. We're talking about the best vehicle. No?
Yeah. No, we are.
It is vehicle.
No, I would argue the best. One of the main things I look at in vehicles, how fun is it to operate? But I don't know. We should probably start clarifying tiebreakers before.
What's the TARDIS run on? What's he putting in that?
It is true. What is he putting in it? I've never seen him fuel the thing.
Is it leaded, unleaded? What's he going with?
It's probably some
Is he putting in the premium?
Sci-fi bullshit, isn't it?
It's like Dalek testicles.
Yeah, that's exactly it, mate. Positrons that are made by a particle accelerator that interact with fuel materials to produce heat, which produce thrust. There we go.
CERN breaks down all the time, mate. You ain't getting shit from that. I can take mine to Shell and I can fill it up with normal unleaded fuel, it's a particle accelerator.
Yeah, but look, fucking Time Lords from Gallifrey, they probably got a better fucking particle accelerator than fucking CERN, mate.
Right, hold on, here we go. Low on fuel. I need to get something quick. I can't move anywhere outside of Earth. Where am I going to go? Nowhere. Can't fill it up. Phil, you can fill up. You can go wherever you want. Phil wins.
Well, you can literally travel anywhere in time and space. You've got enough fuel. You can get...
It's near out of fuel. It's nearly run out of fuel.
We'll just go back in time to when it had a full tank.
But to do the time back in time thing, you need to fuel the fucking thing. It ain't running off the hopes
You
and
have
dreams,
infinite rooms. I'm pretty sure you'll keep a good fuel supply ready for when it's low.
If you haven't got a fuel supply in there, it doesn't create the stuff in the rooms you said. It just creates the rooms.
But
you just get a big empty room with empty
bring a
shit in
shitload
it.
of jerry cans with you. Problem solved.
Yeah, apparently it's sort of just energy, like, that it can collect. So, like, he fuels it up by, like, rifts in space-time. I think the thing you found, Ryan, was for another ship in...
Hey, did I? I don't know, did I?
That was fueled off a particle accelerator.
It's all made up anyway.
The 9th and 10th Doctors were shown fueling up the TARDIS at the rift from the energy that comes from it.
Oh, so it's like, it just keeps on turning, keeps on going, whilst it's driving.
But that's Toyota hybrids.
Yeah.
It charges
It's
from
exactly like the Toyota hybrids.
It's
It's a Prius.
The TARDIS is the Prius of the car world.
Right, let's
I mean,
let's get this
That's
solved.
a good argument against it.
You got to choose,
Well,
guys.
I've chosen.
We've been talking about
so
this.
I know I'm the issue here. I know I'm the issue.
Said it before.
Yeah.
Fuck me. I don't think... So the problem is I don't know...
Do you not
I'm gonna go. I want to go with the TARDIS. Problem is I don't want to stalemate because then we're back to this.
Right, if it's a stalemate, let's be honest, for the actual classification of vehicle, the TARDIS will technically win that in terms of the best vehicle, because it transports more shit, is essentially what the whole vehicle thing is. If it is a stalemate, which it is, right, which it fucking pains me to fucking think I've lost to the fucking police box, but
I think
TARDIS then
Rob's
wins
right.
it.
A lot of the sort of tie-break scenarios that I
but
can
going
think
forward,
of. Yeah.
Going forward, the TARDIS, we have to imagine the TARDIS has had its chameleon, whatever the fuck it's called, fixed, and it's broken again, and it's now stuck as an MX-5.
Well, there's some weird workaround. Now it's Phil. It's like
It
Phil
is
Mark
specifically
II.
that MX-5.
I fucking hell, right? What, Brandon? Right,
So the
Jack,
TARDIS
please.
is through. Are we saying...
TARDIS is
Okay.
through.
The TARDIS is
through.
one. You
Good job,
fucking
Ryan.
what a load of shit. I'm sorry. Alex, I'm sorry. I tried my fucking best. I can't do anything else. So, go on then. Who's next up?
Do you want me to go first, mate? Yeah?
Yeah, you...
How many tabs
You
you
go
got?
first. That's
Got to
fine.
open up right now. Should we play that game real quick?
Yeah, get Jack
I've got
to
my...
go first.
I'm
Jack
keen to
to
get
go
into
first.
it.
We
We've
can
done
fucking-
this before. You go first, and I promise you, I know what I'm picking already. It's the other thing I've got to do today. I've got loads of tabs open for.
Okay, well, I guess I'll go into mine then. Again, so I like cars, right? Like half of this podcast does. And so I did spend a while wondering what avenue I would go. I did also think, what about things that aren't cars, right? So a few shout-outs, possibly. The Apache helicopter. I was very tempted to go with that.
It's pretty sick.
And was looking through the specs on that bad boy. Pretty fucking wild. But then again, just sort of the swordfish from Cowboy Bebop spaceship, very cool. That spike ship, considered that.
That's a good one. That's
but
good.
my heart always came back to a different vehicle. So it seats two comfortably. A third if they hold on tightly, you could argue. It's incredibly maneuverable. It's just a great fun driving experience. So I think we all know that I would end up picking this. It's of course the M12 Warthog from Halo. It's brilliant. It's an incredible vehicle. They did make an actual one, so you can feasibly get a Warthog in real life. It's in Forza as well. It's the reason that the Master Chief is able to escape an exploding pillar of autumn at the end of the first Halo, which is an iconic and fun final mission. And if he didn't get out of that, then he wouldn't be around in Halo 2 to give the Covenant back their bomb. And also, right, for modern drivers, really, you on the roads now, a lot of mini SUVs seem to be front and centre, that new Ford Puma. People love it. I would argue the Warthog, probably the first, mini SUV out and about. So it's setting the trend for the modern driver.
You mean crossover? It's like the old
exactly.
crossover.
It's brilliant. I mean, a few specs on that bad boy. I have done some research. So a max speed, a comfortable 78 miles per hour. So, reasonable, does the job. It fits the speed limit of a UK motorway, and that's all legally you need. Weight, a cool 3 tons. It's 4-wheel drive. It has a 12-litre engine, which is apparently hydrogen injected. I assume that means it's eco-friendly. A 490-mile range. It's got a towing cable on the front as well, so you can assist other broken-down drivers. It's the Warthog.
I've got a question.
Yes, right?
As a non-car driver / owner, is 490 miles a good range for a car?
12
for a 12 litre, especially.
Okay. But like what?
I think it'd do the job, all right.
What? Not to dox you, Rob, but what does your Volvo do in a full tank?
Yeah.
My Volvo has a 52-litre tank and does 450 miles.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's a 12-litre engine. I don't know about the fuel tank size.
Oh, sorry.
No, a 12-litre engine.
A 12-litre engine? Oh,
that's what the wiki article says.
Think about the scale of the Warthog is going to be huge because Spartans are 7-8 foot tall. How tall? They're like 8 foot, aren't they?
8 foot, and in like a very heavy armor.
Yeah, without the armor, they're like 8 foot.
Is that a V12? V12 litre?
12-litre liquid-cooled hydrogen-injected ICE engine.
Another question. Am I the only person on this podcast that's not played Halo?
You've not played Halo?
You should play Halo.
I was a PlayStation kid through and through. I never got an Xbox.
Well, I mean,
got a PC now on Game Pass.
Yeah, Master Chief Collection. Go for it and co-op with someone.
Rob was going to do that, but he forgot about me because he's a bad friend.
No, I played it. I played it with my partner. So as well, but I will play again if you want to play.
That was great. Yeah.
But Warthog, totally agree. I love the fact you said it drives 70. That's perfectly legal for UK roads. What about the whopping great fucking gun on the back of it?
It's not always there. That's an optional extra.
There are a few variations. So you could get just the personnel carrier version where it can fit 4 quite nicely, or you could get the one with a truffing big machine gun, or a plasma rifle, or the rockets.
It's like a Gauss cannon one.
That will shred through a ghost.
It will shred through the other Pumas.
It just depends what you picked for the optional extras when you're in the dealership. Really, it's something for everyone.
If it's got a 12-litre engine, I'm pretty sure old warships had 18-litre engines. So that fucking engine is
pretty
enormous.
Big. Pretty hefty.
Huge. That ain't going to be very good on fuel.
I've just told you the range. 490-mile range.
Yeah.
How much fuel you're putting in that to get that? That's the thing. We don't know how big the tank is.
I don't know if they bothered to make up that stat. Hold on. Let me...
It's cool though. I was not expecting that.
I'm afraid they have not specified the size of the fuel tank, but it normally has like a jerry can strapped to the side of it as well. So, worst case scenario, tip a bit more.
So, people may be aware there was a live action Halo series that is on Paramount at the moment, where they did have live action Warthogs.
Yeah, they've made it,
and it turns out that below the set design and stuff, they were using a Nissan Patrol, a Y61 Nissan Patrol.
I can kind of see it, yeah.
So,
I was worried you were going to say it's a stripped down Duke, to be honest.
You heard it here, folks. The Warthog's a Qashqai.
Yeah,
it's a Patrol, not a Qashqai.
In 2012, Microsoft commissioned a real Warthog be made, and they made it out of a Hummer H1. Game fans have made them based on Chevrolet Silverado pickups, Land Rover Defenders.
Oh no, this isn't good. You're not.
Yeah, but this is people trying to make a Warthog from other shit.
I understand.
Right, so it's not. It's like saying, that's Lamborghini is shit because look at this dude who made a Ford Escort look like a Lamborghini with a body kit on it. Right,
the official sort of Weta Workshops one that was using the TV was the Patrol, the GU Patrol. So,
actually, it's made by AMG Transport Dynamics, but
it's done by AMG. That's quite cool.
Yeah.
Mercedes.
Yeah.
It's German.
So it's efficient.
So inherently, it's quite
No
it's quite
indicators,
efficient.
though, again.
What's the actual, name of it? Because the Warthog's a nickname, or
it's the M12 FAV, Force Application Vehicle, but more lovingly known as the Warthog.
Go on then, Jack. I think you've got a bit to go against here.
Ooh. So yeah, I was torn like everyone else between real and sci-fi. I think people can probably predict my sci-fi choice. I don't know. Do people want to have a guess what I would have picked for the sci-fi?
I reckon you've gone with a Gundam.
I was going to say Enterprise. I was going to say Enterprise. One of the Enterprise ships.
It was going to be the NCC 1701. I'd probably go for the D.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, but aside from your weekend activities, what vehicle have you gone for?
So the NCC 1701D is Jean-Luc Picard's Enterprise. It's a really nice redesign of the original Enterprise. But I did not pick that. What I picked instead was something real that I've seen in real life and I think is just awe-inspiring.
MX-5.
It's the Saturn V. The super heavy lift launch vehicle.
That is very fair, and that is
it powered our way to the moon. Every sort of successful moon landing throughout the Apollo program was on the back of a Saturn V. Human rated, 3 stages, liquid fuel, and it is just a phenomenal piece of engineering. You know, it launched Skylab, led to us then launching the ISS, but Skylab being the first American space station. It's the only launch vehicle to have carried humans below LEO, a low Earth orbit. And as much as I love the Enterprise and stuff, I thought, got to go with its forebear, the real thing that has worked, is existing. We should have carried on with it. It's very cool. And it's fucking massive.
You got any specs on that bad boy?
What sort of specs do you want?
Oh, what sort of specs you got?
I mean, so it still holds the record. Still holds the record for the heaviest payload launched and largest payload capacity to low Earth orbit at about 140,000 kilograms. It includes the 3rd stage and unburned propellant needed to send the Apollo command and service module and lunar module to the moon. I can keep reading the Wikipedia. Yeah, 24 astronauts have gone up on a Saturn through the Apollo 8 through to Apollo 17.
What's top speed?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Quick.
It's not a speed, is it? I want numbers.
Yes.
Come on.
Let me control F, all right? So it gives speeds based on stages. So the first stage burn for 2 minutes and 41 seconds, lifts the rocket in that time up to about 42 miles and a speed of just over 6,100 miles per hour.
Fair enough.
It burns...
Actually, my Toyota Supra could go faster than that.
Get out.
8.9 seconds before launch, the first stage ignition sequence is started. The center engine ignites first, followed by opposing outboard pairs at 300 millisecond intervals. So the thing that I really love about the Saturn V is not just like how much power is under that, like pushing that thing up, but also the sort of millisecond accuracy needed. And in the sort of late 60s and early 70s where it was being designed, built and used, how amazing it is that they managed to get that to work. And even when it didn't work, famously computers failed on the approach to the moon and the first moon landing, and they had to steer it in manually. And the fact that they had those fail-safes there and everything's... Fucking SpaceX could never, and will never. They will kill people before they get anything up successfully. And not just people in Teslas. So I don't... What other specs do people want? There's so much.
The Warthog is really cool and an icon from like my childhood, but the Saturn V is incredible.
Doesn't seem very user-friendly to me, to be honest. I couldn't just hop in.
Now I agree. It isn't very
Can't say
user-friendly.
that through a drive-through.
I also, the Warthog rear wheel steering, also not the most friendly thing in the world. It was a bit of a
even
pain
on a
in the arse
controller,
to
that's... I loved it. Are you serious?
That's what I got rinsed on, We spent ages talking about how the fucking TARDIS drives. Is the Saturn V fun to drive?
Oh, and you can't drive it.
Can't take it to KFC
can't.
adult.
No,
Could
you
not
can't.
parallel park a Saturn V
It only goes up. It doesn't reverse,
exactly,
does it?
Where else do you need to go?
You need a whole team of people to set that thing off. I could just nip in the Warthog, take it for a spin on a Sunday, come back on my own. Don't need a trained team.
Cannot go as far, though. And that the fuel capacity on the Warthog, nothing compared to the Saturn V.
How many people actually can fit in the Saturn V? Is it 4? 3?
Well, the Saturn V is the rocket. The payload itself would contain the people. So it depends what payload module they've put on the end there. Typically, it's 3 or 4 people. Yeah.
In the rocket, sorry, I'm going to sound like a fucking idiot, but so the Saturn V, that's the rocket that just propels everything up. The payload itself is what houses the astronauts.
So it's complicated because depending on the mission, they would swap out the third stage for what they needed. So there's 3 stages, with the first being like very heavy but loads of power, and they drop that away as they get up higher into higher atmosphere, where it gets easier and easier to push further. So the third stage is part of the Saturn V, but they have swapped that out. For instance, when they launched Skylab, they just replaced that entirely with Skylab itself. So it depends what mission. So it's modular, you know? It's versatile and modular.
So it's Warhawk.
That's a good point. I didn't think about it from the ease of use sort of side, because the Saturn V is so cool. Like, it is done incredibly well for our exploration of space, and arguably you wouldn't have things like the TARDIS or the Thought to do that without things like the rocket, right? Surely that must be where some of these thoughts came from. No?
Well, depending, are you talking
like space exploration?
Talking about in universe, or are we talking about?
I was going to say the first Doctor Who would have been in the 60s, so it would have happened before the Saturn V.
Well, the Saturn V was Apollo.
Sci-fi existed before the Saturn V.
People have been making stuff up for a while.
Yeah.
So.
Like, the Saturn V flew from 67, whereas the first episode of Doctor Who was like in
1963. Yeah.
63. So that happened before. I mean, it reinvigorated sci-fi. Like, the moon landings, like, sci-fi interests skyrocketed, pardon the pun.
Boo.
Past that, I honestly didn't mean to make that.
Own it.
But we were thinking about travelling. I mean, media comes first. That makes sense. I mean, the Enterprise came before the Saturn V launched. There had been other missions before then with other rockets, but what was the first episode of Star Trek was 66, I think? 66, yeah. So we were thinking about that.
This is tricky. I am torn in both directions.
I'm going to go for the Warthog. Now, the reason I'm going for the Warthog is because, although not as quick, because that is blindingly fast from the first stage from the Saturn V, the Warthog is cool. I think the Warthog is cool. But it's been known to have driven everywhere. Like, they've driven it on alien planets. They've driven it on Earth. They've driven it wherever the fuck they need to drive it.
It's fictional. It's not real.
I don't know.
The Saturn V has actually gone into space. But in real life.
Yeah, well, the Warthog is able to turn
to Florida
in real life
and see it.
I can reverse in a Warthog in real life.
No, you can't, because they don't exist.
Yeah, they do. They've made them.
Also, no one wants to go to Florida, so that's not a point.
They've made a glorified Pioneer, is what they've made.
It's a cash guy. I'm not picking a cash guy, so it's a Saturn V.
Are you actually I'm picking the Warthog. I think the Warthog is more, in terms of the best vehicle out of these two. For its application, the Warthog is much more applicable.
For its application, it's the one thing that's got us to the moon, Robert.
I'm not being an arse to split it again, because this podcast will be 2 years long. But I've never seen Jack talk about something with almost a tear in his eye and a big smile, and that warms my cold heart to see Jack so enthusiastic about something.
It's so cool.
So I'm going to pick the Saturn V, so we're going to have to do something about this.
It took the astronauts all the way from Florida to a movie studio in LA.
Took Master Chief off an exploding spaceship. I don't know what...
So we need to sort this out.
You're saying we didn't land on the... Hold on, Jack's just casually said we didn't land on the moon.
That's true. It's all nonsense, because they were fake. We've never been to space, so it's all made up. Okay, we've both picked sci-fi options.
It's so cool. It's some of the best, like... It's the last time America was actually worth thinking and considering in, like, a positive way.
Yeesh.
Okay, that's quite a heavy...
No, there's lots of good things that have come out of America, but the Saturn V is maybe the coolest. And really, you could argue that the Saturn V probably came out of Nazi Germany, but
How are we solving this?
I don't know.
Race up.
I don't know. Well, here's the thing, right? You want a drag race, right? You're going to have to lay that down
point
on
it
a
in the
strip.
direction.
You've got to
Point it
go
in
through
the
a whole
direction.
fucking, countdown sequence.
is,
I can just go. And if we put it on a track,
That's very
I
true.
can turn and go around the circuit, and I could do it
A drag
twice.
race is a straight
Right,
line. Come on,
launches,
no
but-
turns. None of this turning
Well-
bullshit.
When they count down to 0 and they say, lift off, the thing ignites its jets and it starts huffing and puffing for quite a while before it actually gets shifting, because it's obviously a big old weight
Yeah.
that it's
Obviously, once
moving,
it gets
and
going,
then
it goes like the clappers.
It's
but
gone.
you've
But
got to...
it's still got that time, yeah. to
Terrible
actually get
launch
shifting.
control.
Its time off the line is not the
Yeah,
best.
so Warthog would
It's
win.
not. It doesn't accelerate. So arguably over a quarter mile, which is a standard sort of drag strip range, the Warthog probably would do it. That said, how tall is the Saturn V? Is it a quarter mile long?
Well, you don't. Yeah, well, you don't put the back tyre at the start of the finish line, do you? At the start line, you go from the very front.
The front.
Also,
the front.
I would be terrified of firing that.
I mean,
sideways.
it is essentially a. It's a rocket.
If you have a rocket
could
lying
also have
on the floor,
a warhead put on the end, But like it's so fucking cool. It's so cool.
It is. It's great. But so's the Warthog.
Whose
And I would
mother are
argue
we calling
greater.
to settle this?
You can't. Come on. You need to pick a. It's the Warthog's going to win in a drag race. It's going to parallel park. It's going to get you through KFC. I don't know about the cup holders. That is one
Without
thing
the
I
Saturn
can't
V,
really
I
argue
think,
for.
although we can't argue it for Doctor Who, because Doctor Who existed before, I think, not having the Saturn V, by extension, not landing on the moon, America not winning the space race, sci-fi in America would be less popular. As a result, we probably wouldn't end up with Halo.
That's
The
absolute
Warthog wouldn't
bollocks,
exist.
First of all, what are you?
Without the
what
Saturn
kind of
V,
stretch is
America
that?
aren't winning the space race.
Nonsense.
So
Like,
No,
when we
it's
say
not.
the best of something, we can say it's the best at multiples of things, right? I don't doubt the Saturn V is the best
Got it, one thing.
doing what it does. The Warthog doesn't
Transporting
do it, right?
people.
But that's
And
that's what it does.
it's the best. It's the
goes
best
up.
rocket.
The
not best vehicle.
definition-
Best rocket.
Definition of a vehicle: transporting people and things. It transports people and things to places that nowhere else really manages. There's a handful of other rockets that manage it. None of them are as cool.
Warthog.
That's a good point.
The Warthog transports people around alien
Round
weapons and
blood
planet
gulp,
and
that's about it.
Blood gulfs.
okay, but in I understand what you're saying. Like, there would probably be no concept
It's
or potentially
massively
a concept of
impractical.
Halo if it wasn't for that. You can't do much.
Well, I would
with it.
say
Now,
the
TARDIS,
Warthog is
I will
impractical
give-
because you're not fitting that on an actual road.
Yeah, you are.
No, you're not. What's the,
What are you
what's-
talking about? You
what's
can't
the
fit
width-
it on a road.
What is the width of a Warthog?
Fucking.
What are the dimensions?
You can
Is that
absolutely
fitting in a
how
single lane?
small?
I don't think.
3.
You are not getting that road
Don't worry
legal.
about it. What, you think they're going to pull me over? I
Warthog
have
is a
machine
military.
gun. You think you can fit
Warthog
a
is a
Saturn
military
V
machine?
rocket on the road and just drive that down?
No,
a
but that's
fucking
not where I'm trying
country
to
lane?
argue that. I'm not trying to argue it goes on the road. You're saying the Warthog is more practical.
Absolutely
It's not
is.
going to be usable in everyday life.
Sure, it is.
Nor's the Saturn
But
V.
the rocket-
Nor's the Saturn V. Therefore, you cannot argue that point.
I can argue
Neither
that
of them
point,
are usable.
and I will. I could get in that, drive to the shops, and I guarantee fuckers will pull over and get out of my way. If not,
So-
I'll drive right over. I'm still getting my fucking
Well, the
6-piece McNugget
winning
meal.
You probably can't.
The winning
fit it in a drive-thru.
clarifications for the previous tie were drag race, getting through McDonald's.
Yeah.
What else was it?
I think it was insurance.
Carrying
Carrying people
things.
and insurance. So in the drag race, what are we giving it to?
It's the Warthog.
It's the Warthog.
You're going to have to give it to Warthog 'cause it
driving through
accelerates quicker
McDonald's.
over
It's the
drag race.
Warthog.
It's the
that
Warthog.
cashier would shit herself if the Saturn V pulls up and you're trying to get
Insurance.
I don't think the Warthog would fit in a drive-through.
I
Yeah.
don't think the Saturn V.
It fits more into a drive.
But that just means it's a wash. It's a wash. No. If neither of them fit in, it's a wash.
In all
Okay,
fairness,
if you're traveling
I
in
will
both
agree
of them,
with Jack.
That's
I'll
a
agree with
wash.
Jack on the.
Okay, fine. I watched
So
that
it's
one.
1-0 so far, and then the next one was.
You ain't getting insured on a
Not a
Saturn V
chance.
rocket.
Are you getting insured on a Warthog?
You,
then?
I think you could.
No,
I
I don't
you
think you're
could.
getting a rogue legal.
Yes, you
What's
could.
the size?
I think you could insure
It
it.
is-
A Hummer, mate. Have you seen the size of them? They
a
are fucking
Warthog.
gigantic.
A Warthog
It's
is
big,
just
yeah.
is around 10 feet wide, so it's about the size of a lane.
It will be easier to insure a Warthog than a rocket. Both of them are going to be probably private land or on, but it's going to be so much easier for me to just get an insurance for if something goes wrong on a Warthog than a Saturn V rocket.
Okay, so we've got it wins in a drag race, that goes to the Warthog. The driving through Macca's is a wash.
That is a wash.
The insurance, are we calling that a wash or are we calling that a win for the Warthog?
I think it should be a wash.
You would say that.
I think you're getting
it's the Warthog.
I think it's also a wash because
it's not necessarily
a military, essentially
people
a tank
own
without
tanks.
the fucking roof.
Yeah, people own tanks and can insure that. Just because it's not on the road, you can still insure it.
I think it's 2-0 to the Warthog based on the insurance win. Was there another one? Was there 4?
Yes, carrying
All right,
people.
yeah,
Cargo.
no, okay, you're right. Tanks in the UK, you need a civilian H category license.
Yeah, it's
but
not
then
easy.
you can drive a tank.
Or grandfather's rights.
Yeah, but it's my grandfather's tank, so it's fine.
And then
If you have a standard car
think it's the
license
Warthog.
category C, you automatically have a provisional license for a fully tracked vehicle.
Yeah, if I just slap L
Well,
plates.
the Warthog isn't tracked, but
so
Ryan, we have to be practical with this, right? I understand why the TARDIS won, because the MX-5 is small, right? And it ain't as fast as the TARDIS. It won't fit as much stuff in it.
can I
Literally everything. This is almost exactly the same thing in the fact that the rocket is very good at doing the one thing, but the Warthog does everything
but
else.
the rocket
it does everything
is
else.
real and cool. The TARDIS is fictional and nerdy.
this is ending now because I did the little recap for the listeners and ourselves because we've got to give it to the Warthog because we've gone through the criteria we did in the last round where we gave it
right.
to...
No, it's fair. I'm not happy about it, but it's fair because I think it is probably still the best vehicle that's existed.
I can't doubt you, Jack, and I want to clarify. The Saturn V rocket was a fucking good shout because I thought you were going to pick something like the Enterprise. It's very cool.
It is.
No one's denying that. I think they've all been great shapes, to be honest.
Would I have won if I'd gone with the Enterprise? That's all I want to know.
Yeah,
because that would win in a drag race.
The Enterprise can do more than the Saturn V rocket. It wouldn't go through McDonald's.
It wouldn't, but it does have shuttles. You could send a shuttle out to
that's
McDonald's.
the shuttle being the vehicle, not the Enterprise.
Yeah, but no one's going with a shuttle. Like, you're not going to send the Galileo out to go and get you a Big Mac.
I don't know what that is.
But they name the shuttles after like artists and things on the Enterprise.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, Warthog's won.
Get me a vehicle I can sit in the seat and just, point over your screen and go engage, and I'm happy. And then it goes to warp 9.
So we've got a final bracket.
Warthog, fuck.
No, we haven't. Fucking
we didn't have the final bracket. We're not getting into it.
We have our final bracket. We're not doing it yet. That's all you were saying.
Not doing it yet. I thought you say we're doing the final bracket now. I did. I was sassy. Sorry, Ryan. I'm angry because you beat my... Yeah, you beat your shitty fucking choice of a vehicle compared to my excellent choice, so equally as bitter.
Can we call ourselves best bitters? Because that's all we fucking do on this podcast, be bitter.
Best bitter.
I don't like bitters,
best
really.
Bitters. It could be a beer podcast.
How about we have a nice little time with some fact or fucked? Doesn't that sound swell? I believe, Jack, is it you that will be facting or fucking us?
I've chosen, some other picks for potential best vehicles. Gundam.
I thought you would
pretty fantastic. So it's going to be a Gundam quiz. And specifically, we're going to go for an interesting Gundam series. We're going to guess if these are real G Gundam mechs or fake.
Oh, no.
I only know wing. Fuck.
G Gundam is the weird one they did after they finished Victory Gundam, I think, where they gave it to some new people and decided, hey, you know what's cool? Let's do a tournament arc, but let's not do any of the cool bits of a tournament arc, but we can get real racist with these Gundams. So for every country has their own Gundam, they're themed after the Gundams. I'm going to give you a Gundam. I want to know if it's real, and I want to know what country you think it's for.
Countries, and these are real countries, not
real countries, real Earth countries. Okay. If they were submitting a giant mech to go and fight in a tournament, which one would they do? So we'll start off easy. Pharaoh Gundam 4.
It's a trick question. It's like real, but it's Germany or something bollocks.
Not Egypt. We're not
going
Egypt.
Of
course it's Egypt. Yeah. It's when did this series when did G Gundam air?
94.
It was just before Wing.
Oh yes, so they can be questionable with it. That's Egypt. That's a legit Egypt special.
So are we all agreeing Egypt, or are you competing against each other and Ryan's going...
Egypt. I was just trying to be funny, but I'm not funny, so I know that. That's fine.
You're right. The Pharaoh Gundam 4 is Egypt, and it is real.
Hey.
And this is testing my my knowledge of flags as well, because the list I've got doesn't actually have the names of the countries, it's just got the flags. I'll stick to countries that do still exist, don't worry.
Damn it.
Good.
Okay, so next we'll go for Aphrodite Gundam. Is it real? What country?
On the nose. It would be Greek.
No, but I think that's too intellectual for 90s anime.
Yeah.
It would be like Zeus
It would be the Zeus.
think?
I don't think Aphrodite sounds as cool for a mech fighting another mech.
It's the Zeus Gundam is the real Greece Gundam. Okay, then next we'll go for another one. The Tequila Gundam. Is it real? Is it fake? Is it too on the nose? And what country?
This better be fucking
This is
real.
where these start getting more and more racially charged. I want it to be real. I don't think it is, because I don't think they'd want to advertise alcohol.
Yeah.
I don't think you should operate a Gundam whilst under the
Also,
influence.
it's a kids' show, so
90s,
they can't.
right?
They can't.
I think there'd be some weird licensing stuff
It's the
with it. Yeah.
90s. It's the 90s. They all smoke cigars in cartoons and everything.
Was it at that point where they were having to edit that though? Like I know 4Kids was later, where they changed all the cigarettes into lollipops and had to rub out the cleavage. But
the editing came later with all
but it's easier to just edit a name of something.
Late noughties.
Because
My favourite stuff with that was always the editing onigiri into donuts. Because kids wouldn't know what a rice ball was. Like they did in Pokemon. In the English dub of Pokemon, they'd always call the onigiri donuts jelly donuts.
That's cool. But I'm going to go with fake, because I
think fake.
No, it can't be.
I think I'll fake that. Fake.
Fake?
What would it be? Hold on. If it's fake, because it's Mexican, what would it be then?
Okay.
Because if it's
what
not
the
tequila,
Mexico
what we say,
Gundam would
tacos?
be.
Taco Gundam.
Sombrero.
Guacamole Gundam.
Guacamole.
the
What Gundam?
Mechamole.
Mechamole.
Guacamole.
Well, I can tell you, the Tequila Gundam is real. It's the Mexican Gundam. In G Gundam, it's the Tequila Gundam. And it looks like a cactus with a little sort of stubby sombrero on.
Googling this right
Yeah, real quick.
Isn't that Pokemon?
Tequila Gundam.
Oh my god, it's so racially charged.
That is incredible.
It's really bad.
What country is the John Bull Gundam? Is it
What,
real?
sorry?
John Bull.
It would if it was real, that would be Britain, because John Bull's a big historical British figure. But John Bull's too boring. Surely they'd go with like cup of tea Gundam.
Henry
or
VIII
something.
Gundam.
Big Ben.
Big
Yeah,
Ben,
just a big
that's a
clock with
phenomenal
arms.
name.
Yeah,
Ben Gundam.
yeah. I think the fish and chip Gundam would be ahead of that.
Right, so you're saying England,
Yeah.
but fake.
But fake, yeah.
Oh,
It's real, and it is the English
fuck's
Gundam.
sake.
And it
John
looks
Bull.
like a Gundam beef eater.
I'm looking at this now.
Oh, really?
Who's John Bull? Is he a beef eater?
No.
He's like our version of Uncle Sam.
Oh my god.
He looks fucking communist.
Oh, don't worry. There's a Gundam for that anyway.
Oh yeah. Oh.
We'll wrap up with one more. There's so many good ones. You know what? Yeah. What country do we think is the Lumber Gundam from? And is it real?
Yeah,
I think Canada.
but surely that'd be like Moose Gundam or something.
Yeah, but lumber. What else do you think of when you think of lumber? I think of if I'm thinking axe cutters, woodcutters. Sorry.
Lumberjack. Maybe it's gotta be Canada, or it could be like Sweden, maybe. But
That'll be like
IKEA Gundam.
Gungerschloff. And it'll be like a piece it together yourself, build it yourself Gundam.
That'd be
It's
very
just
meta as well.
That'd be
I like
good.
that.
I'm gonna go fake because most of them have been real, so I feel like we're due a fake.
It's fucking.
It's real.
I'm going fake.
I'm going real.
It is real. And yes, it's Canada.
Lumber.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. I mean, I can run through some of the others if you want.
Can you go for the? Let's get taken down. What's the most racially charged?
The worst that you're allowed to say.
That's easy. That's the Zebra Gundam from
That
Kenya.
does sound cool though.
Because it's It's a Gundam with a spear in a what looks like animal skin, zebra skin, sort of
Japan,
tribal attire. Yeah.
Oh god, it does look drippy.
Some of these are really good, but I couldn't, like, Viking Gundam, you'll get isn't always straight away. Mandala Gundam I could do, but again, I said I wouldn't do countries that don't technically exist anymore. Tibet has some issues with China at the moment, has for a while. Mm. Japan obviously gave themselves the God Gundam.
Fuck's sake, Japan.
God, wait, hold on. That's ridiculous. Why?
Because their character is the protagonist.
Right.
Master Gundam was for Hong Kong with Master Asia piloting that, and the Master Gundam also has a horse because Master Asia's horse pilots the horse Gundam that his Gundam rides on. But I can't remember what the horse is called.
Can I hijack your fact or fucked by asking what country people think this is? You know what it is, Jack, so you can't answer.
I am very excited for.
What do we think? What country do we think Mermaid Gundam is?
Atlantis.
From?
That is obviously
a weird one. Mermaid Gundam.
It's a weird one. It is a weird one. I was going to pick it, but I couldn't.
Is the country real?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you just said Atlantis, mate. I don't think that existed.
Yeah, but I'm joking. Is the
fishing, Brandon? Where's King big for fishing
place?
Yeah, mermaid.
It's. I'm just going to tell you. It's Denmark.
Never getting that.
Denmark?
It's a weird one.
What?
I assume it's because that's where the Little Mermaid comes from, or is set, or something. Like, I think
it's the goofiest looking Gundam. Holy shit! It looks like a man in a ski.
Oh, that is brilliant.
It has a much more major sort of part than
that's
anything
incredible.
Like, there's other cool ones, like the Matador Gundam, but like you'd get that as well straight away.
It's like the creature from the Black Lagoon.
The Nether Gundam is a classic. Everyone would know the Nether Gundam from the Netherlands, being a windmill.
Is it literally? Oh, fuck, it is as well. It's a literal windmill.
These are amazing.
No, if you've got time, just sit and look through these, and there are gunplicates for them all.
Really?
For most of them, yeah. Some of them are older, so they're not as good a quality, but things like the Master Gundam have been re-released recently, which is a good kit to get because it comes with the horse.
Does it?
So you get a mecha horse as well.
Nobody wants that shit, mate. People want the fucking mermaid Gundam.
I want
the mermaid Gundam, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's wild. Holy shit.
Well, thank you, Jack. That was a really good fact this week. Well done.
Very good.
I had to get Gundam in here somehow.
I was going to say, Jack.
I was very convinced you were going to pick a Gundam as your vehicle, to be honest.
Gone against it. But then, here we are, the final bracket. What is the best vehicle? Is it between the Warthog or the TARDIS? And I think...
Oh, it's a surprise re-entry, no pun intended again, for the Saturn V. Yeah. No, it's great.
No.
I'll pop Phil back in there, if that's right. Now, the thing with this is, do we just tidy this up, Jack, and say the TARDIS wins it? Because really, realistically, the TARDIS does everything. Literally everything. The only thing it probably wouldn't do, I still don't think you'd be able to insure it. Like,
but then that's 3 out of 4, right? And so, ding, 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 winner time.
Because because you've picked a vehicle, Brandon, and the problem is that I picked a vehicle, and yes, okay, the Warthog is more powerful than the. Well, no, I think actually the MX-5 would be quicker because it's lighter, but alas, it does make a difference because the TARDIS
feels a bit like cheating to me.
Quick,
there's nothing I can do about it. Is the issue?
I don't know, Jack.
Realistically, out of the two. What are you pick? Let's not jump straight to the tiebreaker. Realistically, what are you picking as best vehicle? Is it the Warthog or the TARDIS?
I'd rather drive.
Let's not worry about what can...
the Warthog. I don't want to drive the TARDIS. But then if you say the TARDIS, if we're saying it's fixed and it can be camouflaged and it can do the camouflage thing and it can become the TARDIS, when you have it looking like the Warthog, does that mean that when you get into the TARDIS, you're getting into a Warthog and that's how you control it? Or is it still controlled?
You'd still go into that separate room,
It's always technically been the weird table throughout the show's universe, the show's timeline, but that is one TARDIS. And technically, a TARDIS the inside and outside can be anything you want it to be. So technically...
I don't think that'd be the case, because if they could make it whatever they want, they'd make the inside simpler. Wouldn't be as convoluted in there.
I mean, the Doctor would have made it a beautiful woman by now. And then he wouldn't need to keep worrying about all these.
They did. That was one episode.
They did do that, actually. Shit. No, because that was an episode written in part with Neil Gaiman.
That was a very good episode. They didn't shag, but there was a lot of sexual tension, and 14-year-old me loved it because it was my fan fiction era. I'm not afraid to say.
I think it was just called The Doctor's Wife, wasn't it, or something?
So to make it drove, you just fucked the TARDIS?
No.
They showed full PIV intercourse on BBC at prime time. It was wild.
Yeah, it was. I keep it on my hard drive all the time. Just
label do not touch.
Yeah. Yeah, who was she played by? The actress that played the TARDIS?
Saran Jones.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No further comments.
If you really wanted to, you could probably fuck a warthog to counter that.
Would you fuck a warthog?
I wouldn't.
Or the warthog fuck you?
But that's it. It wouldn't be a caring lover. But there are people that fuck cars and roller coasters. There's a whole documentary on that.
There's that subreddit, isn't it? It's like dragons fucking cars or something.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
What weird progression from the old TV film commercial that says you wouldn't steal a car, you wouldn't fuck a warthog. It's I'm sorry, mate. Although I would personally rather drive the Warthog. It's not out of the two. It cannot be the best vehicle. It just can't. In terms of what the best is, just because of what the TARDIS is. Essentially, what Ryan's picked is just this thing that can be everything. He's picked everything.
I almost don't want to pick it because it feels cheap.
Yeah. We've had cheap winners before, so don't rob me.
I know,
now.
but if I pick a cheap thing, then that's fine.
It's cheap win. He's got 5 victories. He's had enough. All right.
No,
you can't give him victories win with how many cheap.
We really shouldn't decide based on that. But how many victories does Brandon have?
No, you can't pick based on that. But I still think it's a cheap choice, personally. I don't think it's a good vehicle. I'm sure it's a great sci-fi
an easy fucking
thing. It's great for getting about.
I thought outside of the box. I didn't go with the little cars that you two went with.
You literally just thought of a box.
Yeah.
Well, technically, it's not just a box, but...
Yeah. I don't know, Jack. I'm gonna.
I'll go with the TARDIS. I'll go with the TARDIS.
I'm sticking with the TARDIS.
I will go with the TARDIS, but it does feel cheap. But also, yeah, shit. I guess I should have gone with the Enterprise. Well, fuck.
What? The Enterprise is very cool, but would the Enterprise even beat the TARDIS? I mean, it's not as quick, the because it can't go back in time.
It does go back in time. It goes back in time quite a few. Yeah. There's the
Enterprise can do that.
It depends on the situation around it, but they go back in time a few times depending on the episodes. The Star Trek regularly go back in time. They regularly go to the mirror universe. Yes, it is a thing it can do, but the situation needs to be right. It can't do it at will.
So it's going through like a wormhole or something? Is that how it's doing it?
Yeah, the Tetrion particles build up in the right way, the usual technobabble bullshit. In the future of Star Trek, eventually they do get to the point where they can go back and forward in time and will, but that wouldn't be an Enterprise ship. Or if it was, it'd be like the Enterprise Z. So we don't need to worry about that. But yeah, eventually they have to have an addendum added or to the Prime Directive that is you don't interfere with prior times, the same as you don't interfere with civilizations that haven't achieved warp travel.
Bloody hell. I honestly didn't think we'd get this deep into something like freaking time travel in an episode about vehicles. Next time I'll say cars. I'll force you to talk about cars, but fair enough.
We'll still find something cooler than your cars.
Yeah, for sure you will try. But that's all good. But the TARDIS, I guess, wins then. This round, Ryan is the winner of episode 13. Fucking hell. You're on the right win at the moment. You won the last one as well.
That is your 6th.
I feel extremely validated right now. So
who's losing at the moment?
It is a tie between me, Robert and Jack.
Right, so at this point we're both ending up with tattoos.
I've got plenty of skin, mate. It's fine. It's all good. We can share like half of it each.
We get one when you put it together.
Well, I mean, one of your options might be our overall winner when it gets to the best of the best section of the podcast. So, don't know how that affects things.
Potentially. We'll have to see. But What is episode 14's topic?
I'm going to keep it very simple.
Marek.
It's going to be one word, and that word is cup. Best cup.
I thought you said cup.
C-U-P. Cup.
Cup. Cup. Oh, fucking hell, we're scraping the barrel.
I mean, he's scraping the barrel because he's won so many times. The rest of us have great ideas, but we can't
what you've
win.
done? You see what you've
I had this idea in the shower weeks ago, and I know what I'm going to say already. It's
Best cup. My God. Well, I heard it here first.
I don't know that we're going to have the passionate conversations about that, but we'll see.
For some reason, in the last few episodes, it's been extraordinarily passionate at the moment. I don't know what on earth is happening. We're getting very hard for everything we're choosing here, except for Princess Tiana, which is such a shame because not really backed properly by Ryan there. But
passion doesn't matter. You
I know,
just
we can
gotta
just put in any old shit.
well.
Any old shit. But anyway, maybe you don't agree that the TARDIS is the best vehicle. Fucking hell.
It's not.
And if you don't, then email us, Brandon.
I'm glad you asked,
gonna email
Robert.
us?
And that email address is the bestbuttiespod@gmail.com. Or maybe, if you're like me, and I know I am, you'd prefer to go onto Instagram. I'm not going to mention, fuck Twitter, but our Instagram
you can go to Twitter as well.
No one's going to look at it.
We should start tweeting as well. We need to get into the algorithm because people aren't. We need people to listen.
Fuck Twitter. It
But
is
what are the handles?
at
Go on, Brandon.
Best Butties Pod.
We are also now on YouTube, where all of the episodes are uploaded. Just because, fuck it, why not? And because we cool and young people, we are also on TikTok.
The TikTok is.
Where we'll do the flossing and eat the Tide Pods.
Yeah. So our YouTube is... Oh, fuck. I think it's Best Buddies Pod again. Oh, at Best Buddies. So youtube.com/bestbutties. And the TikTok is... I think at Best Buddies
Or
Pod.
if the algorithm does its job,
Good.
you already know what our TikTok is, because you've already seen it and followed.
Good job for keeping it consistent across all our socials, Jack. That's good.
Do we have a fax line yet?
It's better than adding a pod.
But there you go. All fun things to come.
Share the
All fun
podcast.
things to come.
Review it.
Yeah.
Give us 5 stars. Say why you hate us, love us, whatever. Preferably love us. We can't take the criticism. But more than that, growing a podcast is really hard work. Anyone that you share it with, it's really appreciated. Just let people know that it's a good time and good fun. Give it a listen. They don't need to start at the beginning where the episodes were objectively worse. Jump on at that Husbandos, maybe, I would suggest. I don't know.
Or even after
Or
that.
even after that. I'll just listen to the latest one. Fuck it.
Send us some yeast in the post. I don't know. Do whatever you want. We love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Love you, bye.
Bye.
All right, that was very... Love you, bye. I got a stick.